Hey guys, DLMGRAPHIX here, and I'm bringing you a video tutorial on how to create a cool background effect on Photoshop CS5. Very cool, new, and reminds me of motorsport and rally racing along the lines of Dirt, and that's how I was inspired by the Dirt 2 box cover. This is the second time I've done this tutorial, in the sense that the first time I did it, I was not too happy with the results at the end of both the tutorial and the outcome. So I have done it again for you guys. Hope you enjoy and stick around at the end to see what was beforehand. And thanks for watching, and let's get to it. So let's create a new layer. We're going to go to File, New, have our page set up to 1920 pixels by 1080 pixels. So that's 1920 by 1080 with a screen resolution of 72 pixels per inch, and we're going to have a white background color. Press OK, and this appears. So the first thing we're going to go to is a new layer located in the bottom right. We're going to go to Gradient Tool, and we're going to add a gradient to this. Now the colors I'm going to be using for this gradient are as follows: 78FF00 and C6FF00 for the other one. Now I like this kind of blend here, but you can choose what you want. You might want a orange to red, but I'm liking the green. Fits in with the Dirt style, and it's a bit grungy at the same time, and happy. So press OK. And in this layer, we're going to go to press Shift, hold, drag down to about halfway, let go, and we have our gradient. And let's rename this layer Gradient. Okay, so we've named this layer. Next, add a new layer, and select our text tool, click, and write what we want to have on our page. So I'm going to write DLMGRAPHIX. Okay, so now that we've done that, we can press on our layer and accept changes. Now what we want to do is we're going to hold this DLMGRAPHIX layer, the text layer, and the background layer. Select both of them by pressing Command or Control, and we're going to align them to the vertical and horizontal centers by going to the Move tool and clicking vertical and horizontal. Great, that's done and it looks good. So next I'm going to add a texture. This is a texture I found on the internet from Aqueous Sun, and we're going to drag this in. Don't do drugs. Yeah. So we're going to go to our layer style, and we're going to go from normal to multiply. Next up, we're going to go and pull this texture below our text, and on our text we're going to add some layer styles. So if we hit that effects button, and we're going to add a stroke. We're going to add a white colored stroke. Press OK. Have the blend mode set to normal, opacity set to 100%, fill type color, and our position to be outside. Next we're going to increase the size of our stroke so that we don't lose too much detail. We still got the words there, but it looks quite good. And we're also going to add a outer glow in that order. We're going to add a black outer glow. We're going to set the blend mode from screen to normal, the opacity up to 100, the range up to 100, and we're going to increase the size along with the spread. Let's put the spread to an unknown value yet. Right. decrease the size until we get something that we want. We only want a small outline. We want to look good, not naff, but good. And I think that looks quite nice. So 94% spread and 40% 40 pixels. Next up, we're going to add a drop shadow. Now this drop shadow is going to be coming in from the right, so it's going to put it to about 50%, 50 degrees even. Turn the opacity up and increase the distance and the size, and increase the spread as well. Now that's going to add a black layer just underneath, and it's going to give our text some depth. It's going to look a bit 3D. As you can see, I'm going to even increase that spread a little bit more, and that 3D-ifies our text. So we're happy with this, and we're going to press OK. Now on our text layer again, we're going to press Ctrl T to free transform. We're going to go right click, skew, and we're just going to bump this up a bit. So now I'm happy with that. I'm going to press enter, and I'm going to drag it down by pressing shift and the down tool. That's going to drag it down back to the center. Right, so I'm happy with that, and I want to add a texture, another pattern to it. So what we're going to do is going to go to File, New, change my pixels to inches, change the width to 2 by 2 on a white background with 72 resolution, and press OK. Now I want to change my brushes to basic brushes, press OK to append them. We're going to select something about that size, press a new layer, go to the ellipse tool located in the top left, press shift, hold and drag to create a circle. Select the layer of your circle and your background, go back to the move tool, and we're going to align this to vertical and horizontal centers. No, we're not. We're going to, sorry. First we're going to fill this because it's got nothing in it, doesn't know what it's aligning. So we're going to fill our thing with black, press Ctrl D to deselect, and then while pressing layer 1 and background, we're going to move it to vertical and horizontal centers. Not bad. Okay, next we're going to use our layer. We're going to create a new layer, and we're going to move the circle to the bottom left hand corner so it clicks into the bottom. And if we press free transform, we can see that the center of this circle is in the bottom left hand corner. Now if I press Alt on this layer and move it, it duplicates it for me, and I don't have to change it in the layer menu. So just put them into the corners now. Now you have to duplicate it, let go, and then move it into the corners for it to recognize the center. Okay, let's turn off the background layer now and go to Edit, Define Pattern, and name your pattern. I already have this pattern, so I'm not going to do it this time. Okay, let's get back to our background. And now that we've just made our pattern, we're going to name this text just to keep everything organized. And we're going to create a new layer. And with this layer, we're going to go to white fill, paint bucket, and drop it in like so. Next, we're going to add a mask to this, and press Ctrl I to invert the mask of our pattern layer. And let's just name it pattern. Right, now on our pattern layer, we're going to go to FX. Actually, let's uninvert this so we can see the effect's going to happen. And we're going to go to FX, Pattern Overlay. Select from our pattern menu and go to the bottom, and you'll find your spotted pattern. Let's reduce the size of this to roughly 40% and press OK. Next, we're going to invert this mask by pressing Ctrl I, and we can't see it anymore. Now, on this mask, we're going to go to our brush tool, and we're going to replace the brushes with something of your choice. I'm going to go for some energy brushes that give me a cool wispy effect, like so. And I'm just going to paint in a few contours, if that makes sense. Now, I don't want this to be too overbearing, so I'm going to stop there. And I'm also going to add a star. I'm going to create a star with my polygon lasso tool. Till the selection is ready, go to my paint bucket tool and fill with white. Press Ctrl D to deselect, and we're okay. Now, my polygon lasso tool, I did have a feather of 3 pixels, but you can choose what you want. I think it just gives it a softer edge and can make it look a little bit better. So on my pattern layer, I'm now going to go to the blending modes and set it to overlay. So now this has a greenish texture, and it's not too overbearing. And if I turn the opacity a little bit down or up, I can choose how I want it to look. Now, the great thing about having this texture pattern on a as an effect, I can go back to my pattern and I can make the pattern smaller, like so, and press OK because I wanted it a bit smaller. Okay, next up, we're going to add a new layer to this, and this new layer is going to come here on the top side, and we're going to name this black paint. Right, we're going to go to our brush tool, and we're going to replace our brushes one more time. I'm going to place this with some splatter brushes. These are great for blood effects and everything else, but they also come in handy when doing this kind of thing. So I'm going to get a smaller size, and I want this to be very subtle, but noticeable at the same time. I want it to be, if it wasn't there, you wouldn't as such notice it, but with it there, it just adds to the picture. It adds to your design. So I'm just going to go and quickly do this. You can spend some time placing everything, and to some degree you don't have to, but if you do it right, it can really add to the effect. So add some lines across here. And yeah. So I'm just going to quickly do that. Don't want it to take too long, but I think it's definitely worth it in the end. So I'm going to leave it like that for now, and I'm going to add a new layer. I'm going to call this white paint. We're going to move this white paint layer under our text layer, and with the same splatter brushes, we're going to invert the color to white, and we're going to paint in behind it. Now, I think this really brings the design forward, and take as much time as you want on this. It really does help to make the image, and if you don't like it, you press Control Undo, Control Z to undo, and you're good to go. So I really like this effect, and I have this as my screensaver at the moment. Oh, that's very large, but that's large for a reason. It's not the brush I want. So I'm going to add one more brush into this. It's going to be a circular one, and we're good to go. Perhaps add one here. Maybe go for a bigger circle. and we have a pretty interesting effect here. I might take away that one and leave it at that. So thank you for watching this video tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you've learned something, and I hope you have a cool background effect. I'd love to see what you've created. See if there's any spin-offs from what I have. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like rating. Comment on the video if you have any questions, or you would like to show me what you've done to it. Anything along those lines, I would love to see what you have. If you like my content, please subscribe to my channel. I can bring you more stuff more often, and hopefully keep you not bored, keep your screensaver from changing, keeping your desktop background changing, and yeah, thanks for watching, and peace.